everyone, welcome to another class in A Year in Cards. This is for the month of March, and we're going to be using background stamps this month, and I'm going to just show you some different ways you can use your background stamps. Just try to get the most use out of them as you can. The first background stamp I'm going to use is this. Let's see, it is the Clouds background stamp from Hero Arts, and I'm going to be using a masking technique. In fact, I'm going to be using masking on a couple cards. But for the first card, I'm going to start out with some really thin scratch paper. This is super thin. In fact, this is some paper for practicing calligraphy that I have just hanging around. And I've cut it to the size of a standard size card, so it's 5.5 inches across and 4 1/4 inches down. And I'm going to be using it with like a circle cut out on one side. So I'm going to be using the Martha Stewart Crafts Simple Circle Cutter. And just a tip for when you're using this, especially if you're on a non-glass mat. I've heard that if you use a glass mat, it's a little bit easier. But since I don't have a glass mat, I'm going to adhere my paper down with some removable adhesive. I'm just going to put it down kind of in the center of my work area. Got a little bit of a cold, so sorry if I sniffle a little bit. And I'm going to be cutting a 2.5 inch circle. And one way you can kind of, especially if you're actually not going to be using this paper we're cutting on the actual card, it's just a template. So because of that, I can use a pencil and kind of make sure I'm going to be getting the circle in the spot that I want. So is that the spot I want? Yeah, that's actually about right. Okay, so I'm just going to make sure that's pretty close to where I was. Okay, so now I'll take the blade and I'll put it in 2.5. Make sure it's seated all the way in there. And then cut really quickly around. Okay. And then I can peel this up. And I'm going to be using both pieces, both the circle and the frame from the circle. The first I'm going to use is the actual circle, but in order to get it in the right spot, I'm going to put that on right there. Okay, and then I can peel this off. Okay, so I've just still got that temporary adhesive, the removable adhesive down. I'm going to take my Cloud stamp and I'm going to ink it up with some Hero Hues from Hero Arts. This is their snow ink, and it's just a really nice white color. I'm going to ink this up. Okay, and I'm going to place the card right on top to the front. And then I'm going to use a brayer over top. If you don't have a brayer, you can use your fingertips. Just be really careful and make sure you get your card pressed really firmly and evenly onto your stamp. Okay, and then I can lift this off. And I've got a really subtle cloud pattern. Okay. All right, and before I pick this up, I'm going to trace around with a white gel pen. I'm just going to go around that outer edge. And this is the Uniball Signo Broad gel pen. And these are in the two-piece store now. And I'll have it linked with this class, as well as some more background stamps. In case you don't have this particular background stamp, I'll have some background stamp ideas posted with the class. Okay, so there's that portion. The next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to take our little circle template and put it back on the card. Have that cover that up. Okay, I'm going to flatten this out so it's easier to stamp on. Okay, I've got an alphabet stamp here. This is from Studio Calico. This is their Noah alphabet. And just like the background stamps, I'll also include some ideas for some other alphabet stamps with this class. This time I'm going to be using another of the chalkings from Hero Arts. This is the Iris color. And it's going to say thanks, and I want it to fit in there pretty nicely, so I'm going to do THANKS. And just so I don't spell it incorrectly, I'm going to use some scratch paper and do THANKS. Okay, and I'm going to start with the H first and then the K first so I can get it centered. And I masked it because I knew I would be needing to have the letter come a little bit outside the circle. I'm also turning and skewing them a little bit just for some interest. Okay, so now we can take the mask off. So it says thanks. Okay, and I'm going to put just a punched piece of cardstock here at the bottom. I'm using some yellow cardstock. This is from Hero Arts. And I'm going to be using a scallop edge punch just to punch out the edge. And since I'm going to be, this is exactly 5.5 inches across, I'm going to show you how you can get your scallop edge to be perfect. You've got the image here on the ends, so I'm going to line it up so it's even on both sides, and then I'll punch the center. Oh, it moved. Okay, there we go. Then I can go to either side and continue punching. Have just a little bit on the end I need to get. Okay, and that makes it so that each side is even. Okay, I've got this right here, and I'm going to put a little strip of another color right over top on the edge. I'm going to use Tombow Mono Multi Glue for that, just because it's a really thin strip. And I'm going to adhere on this because it's a little bit larger. This glue is also available in the two-piece store. It's been added recently in the last couple months. So if you've seen me use it before and you were wondering where to get it, you can get it at two-piece now. Okay, so there's that. I'm just going to use my We Are Memory Keepers corner chomper just to get these corners. Okay, and there's the first card using a background stamp. I'm going to move on to card number 2 right now. Okay, for card number 2, I'm going to be using this stamp. It's called Row of Houses from Hero Arts. I'm going to be using the Latte Chalk ink. Ink this up. Okay. Looks like I didn't get that bottom corner well enough. Okay. Then I'm going to just try to get this on here pretty straight. Okay. Okay, the background stamp we're going to be using for this particular card is this one from Hero Arts. It is the 4-leaf grid stamp, and I'm going to be putting it here at the bottom, almost like grass right in front of these homes. But in order to do a little bit of masking for that, I'm going to, let's see here, I've got more of that scratch paper from before. And what I'm going to do is I'm just going to draw like a little path coming from this house. I'm going to add a little conversation bubble from this house. It's going to say, "We're moving." So I'm just going to pretend that I'm drawing a little path coming from that house. It'll progressively get bigger. Okay. I'll get the end right there, and then I'm going to trim this out with my scissors. But I'm going to take this little strip here and some removable adhesive. Okay, and I cut some new scratch paper, and I'm going to cover the houses with the scratch paper. And I'm going to ink that up with grass chalk ink. It's appropriate for what we want it to sort of look like. Okay, we'll peel that up. Okay, we can peel this mask off. And then peel this little portion off. So it looks like there's a little path going up to the house. Okay, I'm going to be using a stamp set for this sentiment, and this is the Write Your Message stamp set from Hero Arts. Let's see, will that work? Yeah, that'll be perfect. Okay, so I stamped that, and I'm going to use a marker just to write in, "We're moving." And use some scissors and cut it out. That right there, like it's the house saying it. Then I'm going to use a brown marker and just draw some stitching lines all the way down this path. Okay, and then I'm just going to round those corners once again. Sorry, it's my cat meowing. And then there's card number 2, and we're going to head right into card number 3, which is a smaller card. Okay, for the final card, it's going to be a small 3x3 card, and I'm using the Dots Cling Stamp from Hero Arts. And I'm going to use this same iris ink that I used in the first card. And I'm going to mask off about 2/3 of the card here. Let's mask off that portion. Okay, and since I only need about that much, you know, of the dots, I'm only going to stamp up the bottom portion of this dot stamp. And probably only one little corner too. Okay, so I'll just put it down like that. And then once again, actually I'll need a little bit of scratch paper on this side just so it doesn't transfer onto the brayer. I'll just go like that. Okay, that should be enough. Okay, and peel that off. So I've got just the bottom portion there. And now I'm going to use another stamp set. This stamp set is from Sassafras, and it's the Stitchery stamp set. I'm going to set it down on my work surface so I can get it straight. And then put my block right on top. And I'm also going to be using another color that I've used in a previous card. I'm going to use this green from the We're Moving card. Okay, so I've just got a little zigzag line there. Okay, and the last thing I'm going to do is put a little bit of chipboard on. I'm going to use this, this is the Paul Bunyan letter alphabet from Cosmo Cricut. And I'm just going to have it say hi. So I'll punch these out. These already have adhesive on the back, so I can just put them like that. And around these corners. And then just because the top here looks a little bit plain, I'm going to take my white gel pen and just draw some stitching lines around the top. Okay, there's a really simple small card. And that finishes up all the cards for this month's class. Hope you enjoyed learning different ways of putting together background stamps, mostly with masking. That's kind of what we did here. And think of different ways how you can incorporate the stamp image in with your background when it's masked, things like that. Hope you guys enjoyed, and please join us over at the message boards if you have any questions, and upload your cards that you made for this class to the 2Ps gallery, and you'll be entered into a drawing to win a gift certificate to the 2psinabucket.com scrapbook store. So I'll see you guys next month, and thanks for watching.